Hey, it's me again, JC. Now, in this video, I'm going to go over making money in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Now, as I'm sure many of you have already seen, there are multiple videos out there on making money within this game in the junkyard by essentially purchasing parts, repairing those parts, and selling them. However, in this video, what I wanted to do is go over how to do that without having 500 credits. So let's just start by assuming instead of having 696 credits, I have 100. With that in mind, we're just going to go over to the map and go to the barn. Alright, now as always, when you start in the barn, you're going to be looking down at the floor at your flashlight, which I think is the weirdest start to the barn. I'm really not certain why they made it that way. But if you look at the definition here, honestly, it's pretty cool. I mean, if you came up like me, through the years, just playing video games and upgrading your graphics card, seeing the differences, it's been an amazing journey. But putting that aside, so here we are in the barn, and essentially what you want to do is pick up any part that can be repaired that is 14% 14% condition or better, as you can only repair parts that are at least 14% in their condition, and you can only repair certain parts. So for instance, you would be able to repair this air filter base given the type of item it is, in conjunction with the fact that it's 38% in condition. However, if you look over here at the seat 3 letter C, that being a front seat for some vehicle, you do see the percentage at 39%. However, that is not a part that could be repaired. So that's one example of a part that you would not pick up. There are a few other parts that if I see them come up, which I'm sure I will, in this video I'll point out, but while we're at it, you also wouldn't be able to fix any windshield. So that being two of the parts there. So just gonna come over here, and you are able to repair rims, so you can pick those up. The exhaust manifold you can repair. I'm iffy on the side mirrors, but I'm gonna pick it up anyway. For GT seat, that is unfortunate. We cannot repair the GT40 seat because for GT40, as I'm sure most of you are aware if you're playing this game, is the continuance of the Ford GT. And quite frankly, the track times that were achieved with the Ford GT40 were comparable to Ferrari. So you have to bow at its majesty of performance. And frankly, if there were any car that you would die in, that would have to be on the list. It would have to be up there. I mean, let's consider it. What do we got? The Ford GT40. That's one of the best, cars out there. I wouldn't call it a supercar. I mean, even though it probably has a V12 engine. But, it's up there. And cars to die in. Along with the Porsche 911, just because it's fun. And then you got the 98 Viper GTS. Probably wasn't a GTS, but still. The 98 Viper was one of the first vehicles that came stock with, 500 horsepower? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And when you drove it, it felt like you were driving on air. It was disrespectful to physics itself. And for that, I will always love it. I dare anyone to argue with me on that. And another vehicle I will point out is the I want to say it's the 95 or 98 Skyline. Nissan Skyline when they first came out with it. I mean, the body was horrendous. It looked like a square block. It was shit. But when you drove that car, it reminded you why you were alive. What it feels like to go over 140 miles an hour alone is just beautiful. I could state that from personal experience. I mean, there's nothing like it. It almost makes me cry thinking about it. Knowing just a fraction, you know, you turn that wheel a fraction too much in the wrong direction, just a flash. Just like that guy from Jackass, you're dead. You're dead. And that is a thrill. That is a thrill that cannot be matched. I have pulled negative G's in a passenger's airplane with only 2 of us there and a hole in the floor. And it comes close to that. So I guess I lied when I said it cannot be matched, but next to that, it cannot be matched. No, killing the engine in the passenger plane and just floating, knowing that if you can't get it started, you know, might have to do a crash landing. That's pretty fun too. Not as fun as the negative G's though, oddly enough. You would think, you know, the engine thing, when you have a bunch of fields underneath you, you know you're gonna be alright. It's gonna be rough, but you're gonna live. If it's your plane, you're gonna be pissed off, but if it's not, it was just a fun ride. Besides that, maybe make sure you're not responsible for your medical bills. You know, it might be nice if the guy's rich. You know, riding with a millionaire or a billionaire. Just make sure, you know, they agree to all of this in advance. So yeah, if you've seen me picking through the parts, for instance, over here, you can actually repair a serpentine belt. Any serpentine belt, not just the serpentine belt beam. So, we won't pick that. And you can repair that car door. Can repair that. Can repair that. Now if you look here, this is a classic representation of what I would believe would be the Stingray. If I'm not mistaken, the Corvette Stingray. And whenever I see this, I do like to purchase it. Not gonna lie, I mean, clearly can't purchase it right now because I haven't gotten back hundreds of thousands of dollars in the game yet, but you know, we'll get back there. And we'll be purchasing stuff like that, I'm sure, in the future. It'll be exciting. Or like this right here. This looks reminiscent of the Subaru WX STI of pretty much any year. Besides maybe the most modern years, like after 2000. I want to say 2020. But it's pretty good looking. You see, got that manual in it. You know, granted, this isn't DLC, so it's kind of fake, whatever you look at it as. It's not really a vehicle at all, but it does kind of look reminiscent of one. I'm pretty certain that is a V6 engine, I want to say, by looking at it. Not even that. 4-cylinder dual overhead cam. But pretty big for a 4-cylinder at 308 horsepower and 415 torque. That sounds about right, too. Minus the braking power of the Subaru. Or if any of you have ever driven a Volkswagen, that braking power is pretty good, too. Any German vehicle, really. And this, as you can see, looks like a newer, honestly looks like a newer Ford Mustang. 5-liter. Yeah, that's what it is, 2017. 437 stock, 544 factory torque. Whew. Look at that, 6,500 RPM. Red line. I would love to drive something like that in real life for those uninitiated. Whew. If I had the credits. I mean, I've driven one in-game before, and stock, it's really not, I hate to say it, but it's not that impressive on the circuit track. I'm sure if you tuned it up, though, took it on the dyno, it might be entertaining. Alright, so I'm sure I probably didn't get everything because I was too busy talking. But, yeah, so that was the barn. We're going to go ahead and right-click, return back to the garage. Now, you can see that clearly, even with my 15% discount from my tree bonus, I put that in my tree in order to, get a 15% discount. It does take some building up to it to get it, though, through the levels, but I was happy about that. That was one of the biggest things I wanted to earn when I was playing my way through this game. To the, getting all the things within the tree. But anything, I digress. Anything? No, I mean any way I digress, Sometimes I like to mix up my words to make it fun, But so we have 632 credits here. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is just going out and canceling any part that is of high value and essentially going down in value as I eliminate those parts. So if you were looking at on a cascading chart, it would be the highest to lowest, and I'd be eliminating the highest until I get down to about 596 credits worth of parts. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through all of this and spare you the boredom. Alright, so one last part I'm going to get rid of, and it's just going to be the 6 credit one because I was at 597, so really all I need to do, eliminate one more credit. So that brought me down to 592 credits, and I'm going to buy those parts and return to the garage, and I'm going to let you see just how fast this processor is. I'm being sarcastic, of course. I think it's like a Radeon, or however you say that. Been out of the game a little long, but. So, now, I'm going to go over here. Now you see I have 61 credits, so I'm going to come over here. Now I won't be able to repair all of the parts, but I am going to repair some of the parts and utilize the funds that I get from repairing said parts for repairing the other parts. So that gave me 292 credits. So I'm going to repair that, and And essentially just keep on doing that process until you unbury yourself from said damage. See, I think I might be able to get through most of these body parts before I have to start selling again. The great thing about the body parts, and this is a reason you're probably going to want to target them when you're picking up parts in the barnyard. It's because the body parts in particular sell for a lot more. You see? So like 150 in comparison to what you would think would be pretty expensive on a front bumper. And it is. It's like 175, but let's look over at the timing cover and you get 50 credits. Water pump, 57 credits. Exhaust manifold, you only get 42 credits. But let's go over here. We're going to sell this for 150. Then you got a hood for 175. You got a fender for 75, so not much. Side mirror at 38. Fender at 75. But yeah, on average, the body parts will sell more than, well, for more than, you know, the actual vehicle's parts, in my experience anyway. I could be wrong about that. But now we got 1,043, so that's a lot more than we started with. And we're just going to probably about 100 to 200 credits to repair the rest of this. And we should be able to make that up with a little more than 200 credits once we sell. So that's 75, 75. We're already at 150 there. And then you got 175 on top of that, which is at 200, or excuse me, 325 and 400. So we just doubled that. And now we still have these parts left that we cannot repair. So if you have that problem, all you're going to do is sell them for whatever you can get out of them. And now we're at 1,417, which, if you remember what we started with, is approximately, I want to say, about 600-700 credits more than we started with. Now, I'm not going to lie, the junkyard will make you a lot more money. And, you know, you may get lucky and come out with a better ratio than 500 to, you know, than 100 to whatever credits we made on top of the credits we had previous to the barnyard. But, you know, if you don't have that much credits and you need to make money faster than just, you know, repairing a vehicle, or you get stuck in the process of repairing it and don't have the credits, it's a great alternative. But, anyways, that will be it for today, and I will see you all next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.